AI with Alex Merced.
Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced, your friendly neighborhood data lakehouse and AI guy. And in this video, what I wanted to do is talk about and follow up on some of the things we mentioned before. So we mentioned that there's operational and analytical systems. We've mentioned that you're going to want to move the data from one system to another in order to optimize for these two different types of ways of working with data. But one of the reasons why you need these two systems is because the way they store the data is different. Now, typically in a transactional or operational system, you're storing the data as rows. Okay, and a row is essentially one thing, so like one customer or one item in your inventory. And the reason for that is because you're oftentimes working with just one item. I'm updating the customer, I'm deleting the customer, I'm creating the customer. But when you're talking about analytics, you're no longer working with just one customer. You're working with all the customers, but you're not working with all the information about the customer. You may only care about the customer's age. You may only care about the customer's height or their email. So in this case, you generally store the data as columns, where essentially each column is all the information for all records for a particular piece of information. So there's one column for age, one column for email, one column. And instead of having to retrieve every row and all the information in each row, I can now just retrieve a column. So if I want to get the average age of all customers, instead of having to retrieve the full row for every customer, I can now just retrieve the column that is the age column. And basically now I'm loading less data into the system in order to complete the operation. And again, that's part of how you make things get done quickly in computer systems. It's about just how much data you have to load into what's called the computer's memory. The less you have to load, the quicker you can load the data and quicker get on to the next steps and actually work with more data as a whole, because you're not loading your memory with data you don't need. I'm not loading, so for a transactional system, I'm not loading the memory with the information about all customers because I'm only operating on one. And in an analytical system, I'm not loading all the information for all customers, just the information I need, in this case, the age column in my example. And that's why you have sort of two different ways of storing data and you have two different systems, because fundamentally to optimize, to really push your hardware as far as possible with as much data as possible, you need to optimize differently. There are different trade-offs. And that's going to be a theme here, that basically there's no perfect way to do everything. There's always trade-offs, and working with data is all about understanding those trade-offs in order to basically get your data set up where you're taking the trade-offs that cost you the least and getting the benefits that benefit you the most. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day and enjoy.
Learn more with books from books.alexmerced.